Hey, it's Couch Potato. I'm back with another video. This is going to be an update of my 360 collection and 360 collecting. So these are the games, the 40 games that you should have in your collection, or notable games that should be in your collection. The 360 is the perfect system to collect for now because it is dirt cheap in comparison to some of the other systems. So if you can snatch them up now while they're on the low end, it would be more beneficial to you so that when they do start rising in price, you don't have to worry about it because you already have it. So let's get started. We'll start with the limited edition or special edition games, and these ones are sealed. If you can find sealed games on the cheap, it's probably a good idea. So the first one is Death Smiles. It's a shoot 'em up game. Got it on a good price, and it is definitely, one of those collectible games for the 360, a game that a lot of people are out to get because they didn't really sell a whole lot, and it is on the rarer side, especially the collector's edition. So next we have BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, and not the most uncommon game, but this is a sealed special edition, so I got it on a really good price, so I figured, might as well. Then next we have LA Noire. Now you might be thinking LA Noire is a common game, you find it everywhere, they remade it for the Switch, but what this is the complete edition. And the complete edition is actually a lot more harder to find than the regular version. And I also have this sealed, so that makes it even better as far as collecting purposes. I will get an LA Noire to play, but I'm keeping this one sealed. And if you can find the complete edition, definitely pick it up because it is on the harder to find side. Next we have Too Human. Too Human is a game that has a lot of controversy behind it. So what happened is they stole the engine, the Unreal Engine for this game, and the company got sued, and they were told to remove copies of this from GameStop and stuff like that, and for copies to be destroyed. So a lot of Xbox 360 collectors are speculating that this might become a harder to find game or a rarer game because of that, because copies have been getting destroyed. So next we have Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage. This game is pretty hard to find. I would consider it on the rare side. Fist of the North Star, Ken's Rage 2 is supposedly harder to find and more rare, but this one is just as hard to find. I just happened to come across this and picked it up for a measly $5, so this is definitely another one that will be a lot more collectible just because it didn't really sell a whole lot, and it's one of those like games that's just hard to find. Next we have Viva Pinata. This is the special edition. It comes with the removable sleeve and everything. This one is in excellent condition, and this version is a lot more harder to find than the regular Viva Pinata games for whatever reason. It's not, I would say it's more uncommon. It's not really rare, but if you can find it on the cheap, I would definitely give it a shot. Next we have Rumble Roses XX. If you can muster up the gumption to take this up to the cash register to purchase, definitely something to grab. I don't think a whole lot of these were produced, and I don't think it sold very well because of the fact that it's, one of those type of games that's kind of frowned upon. It's just the over-sexualization of the women, and it's actually not a bad game. It's just like a wrestling game with a bunch of women and stuff like that. Next we have Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, an excellent RPG, probably one of the best RPGs on the 360, and unfortunate that this company went under shortly after it came out because it deserves a part two. Especially, they need to add, multiplayer in it, or at least let you team up with a buddy and play through this game. That's the only downside I have with this. It's a single player, but man, is it immersive story and really fun to play. If you love RPGs, you got to give that a try. Next, we have NCAA Football 2014. Yes, that's right. There is a football game on the top list, and that is because this is the last NCAA football made, and I don't believe it sold a whole lot. So this game is still hanging around the $40 range. If you can find it cheap, definitely snatch it. It's going to be one of those games that it's going to be one of those titles that's like, oh, it's a sports game, but why is it so expensive? Well, definitely grab that if you can. Next, we have Arcania, Gothic 4. It's just another like RPG type of game. Don't really know much about it, but a lot of people are speculating that this will become a lot more collectible down the road. Then we have Ghostbusters, the game. For some reason, this game is hanging around the $25 to $30 range, or $20 to $30 range. It's been holding its value steadily, even after 360 is kind of cycled out of its life cycle. So if you can find this, especially for a good price, I would pick it up. I don't think I've played this, but I heard it's actually pretty fun. Next, we have Azora's Wrath, another one of those type of games that is going to be hunted by collectors. It's just one of those games that seems to draw attention, and it's not that rare. It's probably uncommon to common, but definitely a game to put in your collection. Next, we have Beautiful Katamari. I believe this is an Xbox 360 exclusive. So definitely any exclusive for 360 you want to pick up, because obviously it's not on any other system. Now, they did make other versions of Beautiful Katamari. I think there's one on Vita, and there might be some on Nintendo. But for this one, I believe this is 360 exclusive. So definitely snatch that up. Next, we have The Last Remnant, another RPG for the 360. I believe this is a 360 exclusive as well, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can find this really inexpensive, so I would definitely grab it. And RPGs are always good to collect, and they always maintain their value too, or for the most part. And that brings us to another RPG, Lost Odyssey. Really excellent RPG. It really pushes 360 capabilities to the max. It comes with like 4 or 5 install discs, so it's a massive game. A lot of cutscenes and stuff, but definitely one that collectors really like in their collection, and it is an excellent RPG. Next, we have Catherine. Now, I have both variant covers of this. There are 2 different covers made for the United States. There might be a cover made for Europe or Japan. Not completely sure, but it's like a puzzle dating sim game. It's just a weird niche game that people love and definitely will be sought after down the road. And next we have Naughty Bear, the Gold Edition. The Gold Edition is the harder version to find. Obviously, it has all the downloadable content, and it just looks like a weird, creepy game. I don't know, but this one, surprisingly, is hard to come by. Next, we have Battle Fantasia. This is a fighting game. I found this by accident when I stopped at some game store on a road trip. But in my area, I've not seen this in person. And this is the only copy I've ever seen in the year or so that I've been collecting 360. And it's just, I heard it's not that good, but it's a fighting game. It looks cool. The artwork is cool. And it's really hard to come by. So once again, any game that you don't see out in the wild very often doesn't necessarily mean that it's rare, but it could just be a hard to come by game, and depending on the region. So like some games I'll see all the time that other people say they can never find, and vice versa. If I can't find a game, other people are like, well, I can find that game. But, that's hard to say how it's going to play out down the road, but definitely something to think about. Next, we have Jurassic Park the game, and it's one of the early Telltale games. Really fun, and it's holding its price pretty high. So if you can find this complete and in good condition, definitely scoop it up. Next, we have another great RPG, Blue Dragon. Now, this was an Xbox 360 exclusive. I heard it was on DS too, but I don't really count handhelds in the console exclusives. But for the PS3 and Wii and Xbox era, this was an exclusive for 360, and it's a really excellent RPG. It's got a goofy side to it, which is cool. Doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's still an excellent RPG. Definitely going to be collectible. Next, we have Tales of Vesperia. Tales games are beloved by RPG fans, and this is an Xbox 360 exclusive in the United States. So if you are in the United States, I would definitely pick this up because it's only on the 360, and that's usually a series that's on the PS3 or PlayStation, brand. So next we have Amarta City of Gangsters, and this game is surprisingly hard to find, and if you can find it, you can probably find it for, not too expensive. So I would scoop it up now because you really don't find this too often, especially complete and everything. And it looks like it's a decent game, strategy type game, but never played it. Next we have Nier, yet again another RPG. Definitely sought after, definitely holds its price value, and a lot of people seek this game out, and it's definitely one that collectors are looking for. Heard it's really fantastic, but I've never had a chance to play it. Next we have Coldcept Saga, another one of those weird niche games. It looks like a card game slash RPG or something, I don't know, but definitely one to pick up, and I believe this was only on the 360 in the United States. Next we have Project Sylphid, another 360 exclusive, and another game that is surprisingly hard to find. It's probably not good, but I think it's uncommon to rare status makes it worth picking up, and you can find it for dirt cheap. Like this was $2, so why not? Any game that's $3 and under, I'll scoop it regardless of what it is. Next we have Otomedius. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's another shoot 'em up game, another highly sought after and collectible game. It's uncommon to rare, and the collector's edition, which I still need to get, is really hard to find. It's still super expensive as far as the general 360 prices go, and definitely a game that if you can find, I would throw that in your library because it's going to be sought after down the road, just for the fact that it's uncommon to rare, and shoot 'em ups are beloved by collectors and stuff like that. So next we have a fantastic adventure game, Enslaved. It's not uncommon or rare, but it is an excellent game, so you should definitely have it in your lineup. So if you have not played Enslaved, you need to pause this video, go put this in your 360, and play this because it's fantastic. Next we have Fairy Tale Fights. For some reason, I can never find this game. Like, I've found one copy in the year that I lie. I found one copy like this, and then I found one copy that was a demo only version, and they were selling it for like $100. because it was, one that they only use for display. So it was that one was very rare. But this one is really hard to come by for some reason. And it's not expensive. I got this for $4, but when I'm out and about, and I've been to a lot of stores and a lot of different places hunting for video games, and you do not come along across this game very often. So if you find it, I would highly suggest picking it up. I heard it's fun. You just go through Fairy Tale Land, and hack and slash your way through. Next, we have another excellent RPG, Eternal Sonata. I did play this game. I got probably about halfway through. It is fantastic. I love the pseudo turn-based combat style of this, and it's just visually this game is stunning. It just looks amazing. The artwork is amazing. The music is amazing, and definitely one that you want to pick up and put in your collection. Next, we have El Shaddai. I heard this game is very weird. I heard it's like an RPG on an acid trip. So I don't know. I will get around to playing it, but everyone's saying that this game is, hard to find, uncommon to rare status, but only time will tell. You really don't see it all too often, but I have seen it, multiple times. So maybe it's just my area, but why not throw it in your collection? Next, we have Alice, and that is The Madness Returns. And this game is actually really fun. It's a great platformer. I like the take that it takes on the Alice in Wonderland story. And for some reason, it keeps holding its value. So I don't know if it's considered uncommon or rare. A lot of people say it's rare, but I think it's more on the uncommon side. But definitely one to scoop up now, because it is a good game. And next we have Alan Wake. Fantastic survival horror game. I believe it's a 360 exclusive, but yeah, this game is really excellent. If you like survival horror, and survival horror games always tend to be sought after and hold the value. So if you can find this, it's really not that expensive now. Alan Wake, definitely a game to add to your library. Next we have Akai Katana, another shoot 'em up game. This game is really hard to find, and I hate freaking stickers that people put on the cases. At least put it on the back. But anyway, another shoot 'em up game. A lot of people are looking for this one. It's kind of sought after. I would consider it, uncommon to rare status, because you don't really see it all too often out in the wild. And just another shoot 'em up game that collectors seem to love. Next we have Deadly Premonition, another survival horror type game. I've heard mixed reviews about this. Some people say it's good, some people say it's bad. I don't really know. I need to play it because I love survival horror, but just another game that seems to be sought after for the 360 library, and if you can find it for a decent price, it's really not all that expensive, as most 360 games at this point are not expensive, so scoop it up while you can. Next we have Destroy All Humans, Path of Furon. This game is surprisingly hard to find, complete and in good condition. Don't know if it's good. It's probably just okay, but definitely scoop it up and have it. Next we have a rare game, is Raiden Fighter Aces. This game is on the rarer side, and it's definitely holding its value, and I believe this will just climb in value once it becomes harder and harder to find 360 games. And this and Raiden 4, I still need to get Raiden 4. I'm going to get that relatively soon, because I think that game and this game are going to go up in price quite a bit down the road. So Raiden Fighter Aces, another shoot 'em up game. Continuing with the RPGs, we have Enchanted Arms. I remember playing this when it came out, and it was really fun, and another great RPG. And 360 isn't really known for RPGs. It's more of PS3 that is known for RPGs. So any RPG I can find for 360, I'm gonna scoop it up because definitely a genre that I enjoy. Next we have Record of Agresor and Agresor Zero. These are tactical RPGs. I need to start getting into tactical RPGs because I love strategy, and that's why I love turn-based RPGs, and I really need to get into tactical RPGs because of the strategy behind it. I just love games like that. Next and the last one is Samurai Showdown Sen. I have not seen this out in the wild very much. I think I might have seen one other copy of this. It might not be rare, but it's definitely an uncommon game, especially complete and in decent condition. So if you can pick it up and get it on a good price, definitely grab this because it's just going to be one of those games that, I know it's a fighting game, so usually the rule of thumb for collecting that I've found is survival horror, shoot 'em ups, RPGs, and fighting games seem to hold their value the most out of any genre. So if you can find it really cheap, why not? So there's my 360 update and collecting advice and all the games that I have amassed over the past year since I made my 360 video. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't already, start collecting for 360 because the games are very inexpensive, and now's the perfect time to grab them and grab all these games as soon as you can. Now, some of them might not go up in price, but collecting isn't really about, hoping for a return on your investment. There's so many other things you can invest on that will give you a lot more returns. But what I'm trying to say is grab them now while they're cheap, and then when they get more expensive, you don't have to worry about buying them or paying for them. Because if you wait like 5 to 10 years to get Death Smiles or, one of these other ones, then, when you can get it now for $10, it might be $20 or $25 down the road. So you're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of aggravation, and a lot of money. So with that, I will leave you. This is Couch Potato. One love.